Welcome to the second part of this video lessons in which we are going to discuss about creating calendar tables using DAX. This series of video lessons are for existing Power BI users. If you are a beginner, please check Power BI Basics series.
Hello, my name is Doubtbot. You can call me Dbot. I am programmed to ask questions. Though my questions are addressed to the facilitator, sometimes I will be asking you a question too. Let us explore this wonderful journey on Power BI.
What is date hierarchy in Power BI? How useful it will be for all of us. Is there anything bad about the inbuilt date hierarchy? How to switch it off if you don't need it. How to create your own calendar tables using CALENDARAUTO DAX function. What should you do if you need a calendar for a specific fiscal period such as April to March in India or July to June?
How will you connect your calendar table with the fact table in your model? Do you need to create a calendar table again and again? Or can you create a template that you can use whenever you need a specific calendar? What precautions you need to take while using such a calendar template?
Date hierarchy is an option that will give you year, quarter, month, and day for every date in a date or date time column in your table. You can enable or disable this option. When the option is enabled, Power BI Desktop creates a hidden auto date time table for each date column, providing all of the following conditions are true. The table storage mode is import. The column data type is date or date time. The column is not the many side of a model relationship. So when I speak about date hierarchy, I'm using a word called hidden table and columns. So in the image, you will be able to see a column called order date in the source data. When this data is brought into Power BI, you can see the automatic date hierarchy providing 4 attributes from the order date column such as year, quarter, month, and day. These 4 are the 4 hidden columns that you can view and use in your visuals but cannot edit them. In addition, there will be 2 more hidden columns which you cannot see. For every date column in your table, you are going to get 6 hidden columns in a hidden table. In fact, it is a calculated table. For larger data sets with many date columns such as order date, ship date, invoice date, payment date, return date, and so on, this will certainly be an issue, as for every such date column, an associated date hierarchy or a hidden table will be created. This may inflate the size of the model.
Hi Raja, wait. You are saying that there will be 6 hidden columns for every date column? But we can see only 4. Why is this? Can you explain?
You need to inspect your hidden tables with the DAX Studio. If you want, you can install an external tool called the DAX Studio in your system, and when you use a DAX Studio to look at your tables, it will clearly show the hidden tables and columns associated with every date column. You can switch off a time intelligence for the current file by going to File Options and locating a section called Current File Data Load, or you can switch it off for new files by doing the same activity in the global settings. Okay, here is our source data in an Excel sheet formatted as a table, and the name of the table is sales, which I'm able to locate from the table names locator. We have a date column here called order date, and when I take this data to Power BI, I could very well see the date hierarchy along with the year, quarter, month, and day options, which I'll be able to use while I create reports. But Raja, you told me about 6 columns there in the hidden table, but we could see only 4 of them, correct? To have a look into those 2 additional columns, you need to click on external tools and you need to open DAX Studio had it been installed in your machine. And DAX Studio will connect to your Power BI file, will be able to identify the name of the table and then it gives you a template, date table template, beneath which you will be able to see a hidden table, calculated table, wherein you can see about 6 different columns. So this is what I was mentioning about. All right. So let us just have a look into my Power BI screen once again. I have the date hierarchy here. So what is the problem with that? As such, there is no problem for a first time user or if you are having a very small amount of data, but for larger data sets, having additional hidden tables for every date column will definitely inflate the size of the model. So my first intention is to get rid of this hierarchy, for which I need to click on File, Options and Settings. Again, Options, and I can locate a place called Current File. In this section, I can click on the data load, wherein I will be able to see something called a time intelligence. Please be aware that this action is to be performed on the existing Power BI file only, and it is not a global action. That's fine with me, Raja. If I want to do it for all my files, where should I go? In that case, you need to reach the global section. You need to click on the data load part there, and then you will be able to locate the same time intelligence here, which you can switch off for the new files. All right. So let us stick on to our discussions. Now let us go to current file, data load. I am not going to trouble my other files. I am not going to trouble my new files. I'm just concerned about the current file. I'm going to switch this off. Click OK. Now you can see the order date column is not even having the calendar icon, and the date hierarchy is completely gone. Oh, that's fine. What will happen in the DAX Studio? Let us have a look into that. So when I open my DAX Studio, I could only see the sales table. I could only see a column called order date. Still, of course, it says that this is a date and time column. Okay, but I don't see the hidden tables anymore. Perfect. So we have just learned how to kill the hidden table.
Hi Raja, so you have now killed the time intelligence option that was graciously given to you by Power BI.
Hello, my dear DeepBot. I could see you are a little agitated about killing those time intelligence options, but don't worry. We are going to check the alternative methods. Okay, Raja, tell me what you are going to do. To start with, I'm going to click on the card visual and call for the order date column, which says 1st January 2019 as the earliest order date. Then I get a copy of the card and seek the latest order date, which it says 30th December 2022. You may now ask me a question. Hey Raja, why it is not showing 31st December 2022? So let us be very clear that I am talking about a fact table. Whenever there is a transaction happening, I will have a record for that. 31st December, there might not have a transaction, and I don't see a record for that date. Plain and simple. The next step is to create a new table, which is going to be my calendar table. And whenever I try to create a new table, I click on the modeling tab, click on the new table option, and then I can choose a name for my table, and then I can choose a formula for my table. And in this example, I'm going to choose a name called my calendar, which I'm going to create using a function called CALENDARAUTO. I'm going to hit the enter key in the keyboard, and in a minute I could see a new table called My Calendar has been created. And when I go to the data view component, I could see a single column called date. The first thing I need to do is I have to click on the table tools and look at an option called mark as date table. I'm going to officially declare that this date column from this My Calendar table is to be used for marking this as a date table. I may have to select the column name once again, which is nothing but date. Then I'm going to click OK. Now you can see a small change in the icon for the date column. You are now able to see a small symbol over there, which says that this has been declared as a date table. All right, Raja, what next? I'm going to do some cosmetic changes in the date column. Number one, the type is currently date as well as time. I'm going to change it to date. It says 1st January 2019. Preferably, I would like to have a format in which I can only see the numerical values for the month, like 01/01/2019 and so on. All right, so this is your calendar table. Yes, this is the starting point of my calendar table. I may prefer to create multiple columns on this. Okay. Prior to that, Raja, why don't you come back to the report component view and just show me if it is a calendar table, I must be able to see continuous dates. So the date should start from 1st January 2019, should end at 31st December 2012. Correct. So I'm going to pull a card here. I'm going to click on the date component. Earliest date is 1st January 2019. And if I'm going to seek the latest date, you can now see that it is a clear calendar table. A calendar table will not omit any dates, even if it is a holiday, even if there are no transactions. Like a calendar hanging in the wall of your room, it will have continuous dates for a given year. Okay, that's nice. What next? The next step is an important step. I'm going to click on the data view. Would like to have a look at the formula with which I have created the calendar table. It simply says a calendar auto, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, open bracket, close bracket. However, when I try to look at the syntax, I'm able to see there is something called a fiscal year end option. So I'm going to type number 3 here, close bracket, which means that the third month in the calendar should be the end of the fiscal year. That means March should be the end of the fiscal year for the calendar that will be created with a numerical value 3 within the brackets. Previously, I have not used any number, and that is a default for January to December. So when I use 3, the calendar will be created from April to March, and you are going to see that in a minute. I'm going to hit enter key in the keyboard. Then you will be able to see the date has now changed to 1st April 2018. And when I move to my report canvas area, I can see the earliest date in my calendar table is 1/4/2018. You might have asked me a question, Raja, what is this? My fact table says I have a transaction for 1/1/2019. That is correct. And 1/1/2019 falls in the financial year called 2018-2019 in India. 1st January 2019 belongs to a financial year in India, which is known as 2018 to 2019. Oh, is it? That's okay. Can you explain about the latest date, which speaks about the 31st of March 2023, while I have the data, the last transaction only on December 2022? That is correct. December 2022 belong to a financial year called 2022 and 23. So the calendar table is now exactly designed for 1st of April to 31st March, and it considers all possible scenarios as per your sales table's order date column. Plain and simple. Okay. So this is how we can create a calendar table for a country like India. Absolutely correct. If we are going to speak about another country where the calendar should be between July and June, you just need to type 6 here. Cool. You will be able to see 1st July will be the starting date. I can show you an example. A July to June calendar, which is being followed by a few organizations in the world, in a few countries. And for them, Q1 will be July, August, September. Q2 will be October, November, December, and so on. When you look at the calendar table created by me for such an organization, you can see the formula as calendar auto, within bracket the number 6 has been used. Similarly, there are a few organizations, fiscal year starts in November and ends in October. In such cases, I will be using number 10 within the brackets. That's it. So this is how you can create your own calendar table. Coming back to our discussions, I'm going to show you an example in which the fiscal year starts in the month of April and ends in the month of March of the subsequent year. So let me just go back to the formatting in a minute. All right. Then I can pretty much see this starting point in my fact table belongs to a starting point of a financial year on 1st April 2018. And this ending point of my fact table's order date column belongs to an ending point of a fiscal year in the given country. In the next step, I'm going to create a couple of new columns in the calendar table. I can hit new column and then I can type a formula here to fetch the year values by typing year equals the year function, open a square bracket, and the column name called date automatically pops up. I can hit the tab key, close bracket, hit enter. So I just created a column called year. Similarly, I'm going to create quickly a couple of columns. Will not be showing you the recording to save time. Okay, I just created a couple of columns like month number, for which I used a formula called getting the month number out of the date column. Then I have used a simple mechanism of writing an if function. This could be done with different ways. I can use a switch function also here. I'm just using a very simple function because many of you are familiar with the if functions in Excel to get the quarter value, whether it belongs to Q1 or Q2 in India. For example, the month of April belongs to Q1 in India. Similarly, I'm using my own mechanism for pulling the fin year, depending upon the quarter value, depending upon the dates. Probably you can design your own methods for that. I'm also pulling the month name in plain simple alphabets using a format function. And finally, I have a column called assortment, which may be slightly new for some of you. Raja, why don't you speak about this assortment column? What actually it is trying to do? It says if a month number is less than or equal to 3, then you add the month number with 9. Otherwise, you reduce that with 3. What do you mean by that? So before explaining what is the purpose of this assortment, let me go to my report canvas area, try to open a new sheet, and would like to create a slicer to show the month values, and let us check how it is organized. Is it organized either as per the calendar or as per the financial year or just by alphabets? Yes, Raja, we are able to see that it has been now sorted in terms of alphabets A to Z. So April, August, December, February, January, July. I am not at all happy to see the months this way. Absolutely correct. So that is the reason we have created a column called assortment, in which we are going to reduce the value of 4 to 1 by reducing 3 from that, which means that April will become number 1 month, May should become number 2, and I'm going to sort this month column, okay, using the assortment number I have created. So in a minute you can see things are changing in the report view. Now you can see April, May, June, July exactly as per my requirement. Just to show you very quickly, if things are good, I'm going to click on the slicer. Would like to pull my fin year. I got financial years for 2018-19, 19-20 and so on. And I can also pull another slicer quickly here to call my quarters. So if I speak about Q1, in India, it is April, May, June. If I speak about Q2, it is July, August, September. So this is how you can quickly create a calendar table. Now, is it going to give me solutions? Can I pull the dates from the calendar table, and can I pull other field names from the sales table? Pretty much possible. But before that, we need to give one more final touch. That is, I need to go to my model space and ensure that my sales table is going to be connected to my calendar table. We have created a calendar table and formatted for a fiscal year or financial year called April to March as in India. And I have a column called date here, which should be connected to the order date column in the sales table. So I'm just going to drag it there and keep it there. Let me hover my cursor just to ensure that the correct columns from the tables are connected, related to each other properly. Looks like they are properly related, and I'll be able to instantaneously see values according to my requirement. For example, if I'm going to now pull a matrix and then call for say fin year and then total bill value, and since it is a matrix, I can get additional information like a quarter within that. So I'll be able to choose one particular financial year, what happened during Q1, and within that I'll be able to pull my months over there, and I'll be able to see Q1 is April, May, June, Q2 is July, August, September in India, for whom this kind of financial year system is designed. So if you are going to ask me a question, Raja, will this be working fine in all given scenarios? I may say yes, I may say no. Hi guys. Just don't worry. This will work in most of the scenarios. However, there are a few places where we may have to work on certain more steps to ensure that your calendar table works fine with your data. So to get an idea about what are such places, please look at the next few slides. Thank you very much for watching this video. If the contents are useful, kindly subscribe my channel as well as share this with your contacts. We will be seeing a lot of more videos on creating time intelligent measures with calendar tables in the days to come. So please subscribe. Please stay tuned. Thank you.